Today I'm replacing a 2-inch flush valve kit by Kohler on this 2-piece toilet with 3 bolts. You can see the new gasket is going to line up right with those 3 bolts. I've got water off, and now I want to remove the rest of the tiny bit of water in the back of the tank. And then we're going to use a socket here. I believe this one is 1/2-inch socket to remove on the bottom here. There are three of these bolts, so you need a deep socket, and we're going to set the tank off to the side and get it installed. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the water line now. Still a little bit of water in the line, and that's okay, that's normal. We're going to go ahead and already got it loose. I can just take it out by hand here. Okay, let's see the other one. The other one is loose as well. Okay, get the washer off. And now the tank will just lift straight up. There we go. Well, you can see underneath here, we're going to go ahead and replace the fill valve as well. So we'll disconnect this. It's a great time to do it. Just unscrew that. They even put that nut was even on backwards. So I'm actually going to have to twist this out so that we can remove it from the bottom here and get this flapper off. Okay, now that's kind of loose. I got a pair of pliers in here, and you can start twisting the old one out. It's a little hard to do with one hand. All right, we got it loose enough that I can just barely do it by hand here. Ugh. Very tight. Getting looser. All right, so now the flush valve is out, and now we got to get these bolts back up through. So I'm going to try to just push some weight on it and push them up. All right, so that seemed to work pretty well. I just used the gravity and the drop cloth and just pushed on them. And now I got the bolts out. So now we've got most of the pieces off. And now we just got to get this thing out. Shouldn't be a crazy bad deal. Just gotta pull out these are rubber plugs here. Okay, everything is out. I'm gonna clean all this up and then get ready to put the new one in. All right, now it's all cleaned up, both there and there. I'm gonna take my flush valve. I'm gonna set it down, try to get it to come through over here. And now we need to add this piece here to get these get this thing to get the bolts in. It looks like one of them is a little bit shorter than the others. So it should look something like this at this point, and you can start tightening it, and then we'll snug it up a little bit with a channel lock. It doesn't have to be crazy tight though. Just grabbing it on the sides and just giving it a little bit more. That feels pretty good. It should be tight. So the next step is technically optional, but I think it's good while you have it out. It's easier to go ahead and screw on a new fill valve. So we're gonna put this through here and put the nut on. And this one, you really only need to go hand tight if you got strong hands, because it's got these wings so you can get extra grip. So all said and done, should look like this. And now we're ready to sit it on the tank there. All right, so now we've got it sitting on here. I did have to offset that a little bit. So this bolt will go right down through here. I'm gonna stick that down through. Stick another one here. Stick that down. Stick our third one back there. And so now underneath, we need to sort of hold it from the top and put our washer and our nut, just like that, on all 3. Okay. And now we can take the socket wrench and start tightening them down. So now you can feel the tank. There really shouldn't be much play in it. I was able to get them mostly tight with just by hand this. And now we need to add our flapper in, which is just 2 hooks on either side and then 1 for the handle. Okay, and that should be sitting down on there like that. And our fill valve, the water level cuts off at the bottom of this bulb. So I'm gonna have to lift up this locking pin and pull up on this fill valve until I get it roughly, that's about where I want it. I can fine tune it after the fact. Then I gotta put that locking ring back in place. And we're ready to turn on the water after we hook up our hose on the bottom here to the fill valve. This is again just hand tight, and if your hose is old, you might want to just consider replacing it as well. And now we can turn the water on slowly and start testing for leaks. Okay, and the final touch is I just added the hose on the fill valve, and we gave it a bunch of test flushes, checking for leaks. It looks good. Toilet is flushing. All done. I'll show you the tank number on this one, but this is for any of those, the 3 bolt kind.